2019, with it an entire decade of gaming, is coming to a close. Luckily, the 2010 to 2019 decade has been eventful, with masterpiece after masterpiece, and in many different genres. From timeless indies to massive AAA giants, we have done our best to include a variety of our favorite games of the best of the best. Now then, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's not waste any more time. It's time for our number 10.
Undertale, the game that cemented Toby Fox's name into gaming and delivered a fantastically unique, creative and in-depth world and story. The game harkens back to Earthbound, as do many of Toby's projects, but certainly this title had the most creative effort and focus put into it. The game is absolutely packed with excellent dialogue, a deep and meaningful story for those who look further, characters you've never seen before, and music that is just wow. Undertale was something that was never seen before in gaming, at least not with so much love put into it. The real beauty, however, is how subtle aspects of the story can be. Clicking around on various world items that would be pointless in other games actually gives you little peeks into the truth of what happened in this world, all culminating in a brilliant ending, even more so as everything begins to click together and you get that "oh" moment. The characters are genuinely lovable, hateable, and can be flat out funny. They are complex, well written, each with their own stories that really flesh them out into more than just a few pixels on a screen. The overall style and aesthetic of the game is brilliant too, going back to the days of beautifully forged pixel-based graphics that give a great deal of charm and character to the title. A true masterpiece of gaming, Undertale absolutely deserves to be on this list. Minecraft, perhaps the most well-known game on this list based on sheer size and success of the title. This game absolutely revolutionized the gaming industry. No, that is not an overstatement. Early access games? Minecraft pretty much set the bar for that, and many followed in its wake. Suddenly the phrases Minecraft model started appearing with developers, resulting in staggered updates that came out as games would release. The idea of truly endless worlds were being discussed, and the standard of creativity that Minecraft offered its players was envied by others, hence the many rip-off titles that use blocks. In fact, cubes and blocks themselves were popularized by the title, voxel-based games following again by Minecraft's example. The game itself, however, is a charming experience and varies wildly depending on how you play and how you want to play. The ability to create virtually anything is a freedom that any gamer can appreciate. Want to build the Eiffel Tower? Do it. Want to make a giant meme monument? Do it. And, more in my case, want to make a snug wooden cabin in the middle of a snowy tundra? Do it. The world is at your fingertips. Whether you play creative or survival, you'll be subjected to some of the most iconic pieces of music in gaming too. Calming, almost otherworldly pieces. Minecraft is an excellent title, selling more copies than you can wrap your head around. Oh, and let's not forget that it is available on virtually every device nowadays. It's probably even playable on a toaster. And just because I can, I want to mention it's also the second best-selling game of all time, only outsold by Tetris. Weird, huh?
Skyrim had to be on this list, despite its long list of flaws. Yes, Bethesda's sketchy track record started here. Many say that Oblivion had a better plot, and they are right, but you can't deny the massive impact of Skyrim on gaming as a whole. After all, this is the game that said, oh look at those cute open worlds, and then slammed the world that every star developer has been studying ever since to death, and needed many years to be surpassed. Was Skyrim experimental? Yes, as the modding community needed a long time to fix its many bugs and shortcomings. But at the same time, this game was on a scale and detail that was unmatched in 2011. Since then though, as you will see from this list, a number of titles have been able to surpass its open world and a little clunky gameplay. However, you cannot deny the greatness of this game with its close to 200 hours of gameplay, long list of quests, first and third person camera options, advanced skill trees, and obviously majestic dragons in an unforgettable adventure.
Super Mario Odyssey is one of, if not the best addition to the Mario series we've ever had, taking all of the best aspects of legendary titles like Mario 64 and bringing them to a new level with modern and creative ways of playing. Travel through hugely diverse kingdoms, each with their own enticing theme, and use Cappy to literally take control of your enemies. It's the most action-packed, content-filled Mario title you'll ever find. You can play this game for hours and hours without getting bored, always finding a moon hidden somewhere you wouldn't think to look before. Mario Odyssey is every Mario fan's dream come true. The ultimate blend of modern and classic can be found, with nostalgic 2D sections that remind us all of the plumber's humble roots. This is contrasted by the beautifully modelled modern style of enemies that bring the brilliant 3D platforming that the series is known for. I cannot stress this enough, this is Mario's ultimate journey and you'd have to be crazy to miss it. The only drawback of this game are the numbers of kingdoms, as this is a game that you would never want to end. Luckily, Mario Odyssey comes with one of the best post-games in any video game here. Portal 2 took the original Portal game's unique gameplay, universe and setting, then amplified it all by 100. The result? One of Valve's best games ever. Portal 2 continues the excellent series and brought all new features that greatly expanded upon Valve's initial concept. The first Portal game was, by Valve's own admission, a bit of a shot in the dark. They didn't anticipate huge success, so when the game sold so well, they knew they had struck gold and naturally, a sequel is in the works. Portal 2 answers a lot of questions that were asked in the first game, but also provides plenty of its own. The story is extremely deep, with constant references to pre-GLaDOS apparatus science and even GLaDOS herself. It actually gets a bit dark when you start to think about it. Regardless, the gameplay is the real meat here. Flinging yourself around at breakneck speeds has never been so fun, nor has solving some at times very challenging puzzles. Slipping around on gel, bouncing off the walls and redirecting lasers really brought a whole new way to play to this series and ultimately proved to be one of the best sequels in gaming overall. If you like the first Portal game or have never even played before, please pick this one up. You owe it to yourself. If I were to point to a video game this decade that was a true spectacle from beginning to end, then it would be Super Mario Galaxy 2. This game is simply a miracle which managed the impossible, surpassing the original Super Mario Galaxy, which already was a masterpiece on nearly every level. Super Mario Galaxy 2 took the formula of the original and fixed nearly all gameplay shortcomings of Galaxy 1. Adding Planet Mario for better travel between galaxies, and reinvented the stages with a number of new power-ups and hazards which were perfectly adapted. More importantly, Super Mario Galaxy 2 brought back Yoshi and used him well in the galaxies that he appeared within. Super Mario Galaxy 2, with its double dose of gravity-defying gameplay, is nothing short of a miracle, and the only example to this day of a 3D Mario sequel on the same system. Also, you know this game is a masterpiece when gamers all around the world 9 years later still crave for Galaxy 3. If it ever happens, then the original Mario Galaxy trilogy will be one of, if not the best, in all of gaming. A double entry for number 4, but we think both of these games deserve to be here. Being both made by Rockstar, they go well together. GTA 5, being the third best-selling game ever in the history of, well, ever, really brought out the best in Rockstar Studio North. The sheer level of freedom, the ability to do virtually anything you can do in real life, minus the real-world consequences. It's a massive playground for anybody. Indulge in the things you've always wanted to do, but couldn't because of those pesky things called laws. Whether you're into shooting, racing cars, flying aircraft, golfing, tennis, or just going on tank rampages, GTA 5 has everything you need. Combine that with an awesome story, fun mechanics, and a constantly updated online, well, it's easy to see why it sold so famously. Red Dead Redemption 2 is also an excellent title, making ground on the brilliant Red Dead Revolver and Red Dead Redemption from last gen. It's basically GTA but with cowboys. I personally love the era, so it's a dream come true for me.
Red Dead Redemption 2 serves as an excellent prequel story to the two original games, spanning over a massive territory, solid narrative, fascinating setting with a number of urban settlements, with the largest being based off New Orleans, and a new approach to a number of gameplay mechanics really made this game stand out. Unfortunately, for many, the experience of the game was ruined by some mind-boggling issues when it came to the game's controls. Regardless, both of these titles have earned their place on this list, proving that Rockstar still has that magic to produce quality games that can be played for years on end. Now then, before we get over to our podium, let's go quickly over some honorable mentions. Cue the music. Vikings and a boy. Who would have thought that it would be the Norse warriors that would bring Kratos back to form in an incredible adventure? The voice casting, narrative, combat, and bosses with a stunning Norse mythological backdrop was all great in 2018's God of War revival. As a Norwegian, I may be a little biased when talking about this game, and to be fair, we were a little skeptical at first. But this game conquered any concerns with a game that was both touching and at the same time packed with that classic brutality that the God of War franchise is renowned for. This, not The Last of Us, is the greatest PlayStation exclusive this decade, as it took a dormant franchise, threw it into a breathtaking setting known as Norse mythology era Norway, and reinvented it for a new generation. No doubt, with a masterpiece like this one, which rightfully won the Game of the Year award at the Game Awards 2018, there's little doubt that the God of War franchise is back and ready to kick some more divine ass in the years to come. Breath of the Wild's organic open air is exactly that, a game that changed the world, and just like Ocarina of Time in 1998, changed gaming forever. It doesn't matter if it is your favorite Zelda or not, this game has already left its mark on the franchise forever. And when we will move on from Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild will always be remembered as the time Nintendo matured when it came to its open world game design, with a game that technically never ends as enemies are brought back with every blood moon, you can delay a confrontation with Calamity Ganon for an eternity, because for the first time in a Zelda, scratch that Nintendo game, we had an interactive sandbox to play with. Combine this with the most sophisticated physics engine in any action-adventure title, AI that are prepared to throw their own kind at you, and you have the recipe for an endless game. I've been playing Breath of the Wild for close to 3 years now, and I still find great joy as the world truly feels alive and can be explored and enjoyed in any way you please. The excellent gameplay and lack of limitations is what sets Breath of the Wild apart. And yes, it has its shortcomings, such as fragmented and lackluster storytelling, lack of variety in divine beasts, which are also a disappointment compared to the best dungeons in the series, and where boss and enemy designs were recycled throughout the game. Hopefully, the sequel will address these while keeping what was great in Breath, and that way dethrone it. However, these shortcomings also end up handing the title of Game of the Decade to... When I started writing this list, I never thought that The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt would end up as my game of the decade. But you know what? I had to, as this game had so much love and did not compromise on anything. Here you have one of the most detailed upon worlds ever, with a great variety of enemies, monsters, bosses, caves and settlements, villages, towns, and one of the most impressive cities in video game history, Novigrad. The Witcher 3 may lack the weapon variety from Zelda and Skyrim, but in return emphasizes clever planning with elixirs and runes, turning every hunt, including the ones after the Wild Hunt, into memorable and challenging encounters. And this is an adventure everyone can enjoy, with different difficulty settings, and though the controls may be a little clunky at times, the game shines in so many other categories such as duality of gameplay through the series sections, main quest, side quests, player selections, music, star-packed cast of voice actors, believable characters, the wide variety of races, including some truly adorable moments with the trolls, that all make this game stand out. Well, that and the contrast between light and dark and the many grey areas that you will find in the Witcher world and in our own society. CD Projekt Red did not disappoint in any ways, delivering a game experience like never before that everyone can experience on the current generation of systems, that being PC, PS4, Xbox One, and recently Nintendo Switch, which is also the only handheld version of the game. Obviously, the incredible up to 8K 60 frames per second PC version of The Witcher 3 is in our eyes game of the decade, not the console ports. But it goes without saying that when the game was released back in 2015, CD Projekt Red also delivered a long list of free DLCs, updates, and the best value and expansion passes ever offered for $25. The Witcher 3 and CD Projekt Red are deserving winners of our game of the decade. We congratulate, and then we'll see if CD Projekt's Cyberpunk 2077 and Nintendo's Breath of the Wild sequel will surpass our number 1 and 2 in the upcoming decades. Is there any way that you can agree with our list? Or are there games that you think deserve to be placed higher? Leave a reply in the comment section down below. Now then, make sure to leave a like to help more people see this video, and if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, press that button and then that shiny notification bell for all notifications. Big thanks as always goes to all our patrons, and we hope you also can join them on patreon.com/commonrealm. And we will see you in the next one.